Hey Laserpreneurs, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about if you should offer seasonal items into your product offerings. This isn't going to be a simple yes or no answer. We're going to look at the various factors that go into making a decision for yourself. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon, the co-founder of Laser Design Club, and I help laser makers just like yourself make more money with the lasers that they have. First, we need to define what a seasonal item actually is, and I'm sure many of you who know, who are already in the laser game, a seasonal item would be defined as something that sells for a short period of time along the calendar year. So think Easter, think Christmas, think Halloween, think Mother's Day, Father's Day. Those are all seasonable items, and in today's video, we're going to talk about should you sell them or should they be a large part? We're going to figure out that next. All right, first let's cover some of the advantages of seasonable items. Now, there is an increased sales volume that comes with the seasons. So if we go back to things that are on the calendar, think Easter, think Halloween, think Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, people are actively searching for those items, which means there's increased demand. And whether there's increased demand, that means the money is going. So we have increased sales volume, which is a gigantic plus for us. In addition, with active people searching, that means you can potentially get new customers. Now, it's great to sell to your repeat customers, and if you have a business that you could sell to repeat customers, good for you. That is amazing. That is what we want everyone to achieve. But you can also gain new customers with these seasonable items, and then you could try to resell those people at a later date. With seasonal items, you can also charge a premium for some of these items. So think Mother's Day, think Father's Day. Those are very, very short windows of time that people are buying in. You could potentially charge a premium price for a custom item because once again, that demand is so high. Let's be honest, people tend to forget some of these holidays at the last minute. So there's a little bit of a sense of urgency. Plus, selling seasonal items really helps you utilize your downtime, if you will, because there's certain points during the calendar season that you're going to be busy or not so busy. So to jump into a seasonal category may help you increase your profit in your downtimes, which I think everyone can agree with. A little extra profit can help a lot. Now, it's only fair to talk about some of the disadvantages when it comes to seasonal selling. So the first one is going to be inventory management. And by that, I mean it's hard to predict demand on how much product you think you're going to need to make. So for example, one of the products that we've sold a lot of during the past, especially during the Easter season, was Easter tokens. And maybe I'll throw up a picture on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But what that product is, it's really you just put them in an Easter egg in replace of candy. So that's necessarily neither here nor there, but you could see that there is once again a short window where people are buying this. So with inventory management, in years past, in the first year that we started selling these, what happened was we had to just keep running our machines constantly to keep up with demand because we just kept getting order after order after order after order. And at one point in time, I remember I was literally running our machine for like 14 hours a day, which was mind-numbing to help keep up with these orders because we were basically doing them like as the orders came in. We would print a handful of sets, package them, and then sell them. The next year, what ended up happening was I tried to be a little bit smarter and I just made an absolute ton of these Easter tokens batched out well ahead of time. Now, granted, that made my life a little bit easier, but the problem was then I had a bunch of leftover stock after the selling season was over because I overestimated how many I thought we were going to sell. Now, don't get me wrong, we sold a bunch, but I still had a lot sitting on my shelf that weren't going to be any good for any other time of the year. So they were just sitting on my shelf until the next selling season came along. Another disadvantage is production demand, especially when it comes to custom items. Now let's look at the Mother's Day or Father's Day category for this one because a lot of those items are most likely going to be customized. Whether you're selling a Mother's Day item with children's name on it or a Father's Day item with the dad's custom name on it or some kind of script or some kind of logo, that involves a lot of high touch. So realistically, the amount that you're going to be able to do in a short amount of time is going to be challenging, especially if the item needs to be customized. Another disadvantage to selling seasonal items is that really it can distract you from your long-term goal to focus on short-term profits. Now, don't get me wrong, profits are great, but if you're in this constant up and down selling, trying to follow the calendar, try to get ahead of the curve when it comes to selling seasonal items, it can distract you from actually building a long-term profitable laser business with products that can actually sell year-round. And if you're looking to have a sustainable business, In my opinion, you need products that can sell year-round and not just rely on the ups and downs of seasonal items. Competition can be a big problem as well when it comes to selling seasonal items. With that being said, with high competition, that once again, that means there is increased demand in that particular category. But the problem is, if everyone's competing for this particular set of items or this particular category, that means that your individual sales might go down. Now, in a perfect world, you would love to get all the Easter token sales or all the Father's Day wallet sales that are out there, but that's just not going to happen because there's so many more people selling these items. So competition, while good, can really bring those sales down to a point where it doesn't really make it profitable for you to try. So you know the advantages, you know the disadvantages, but let's get into things that you can consider for your own business. So the first thing you can consider is your individual target audience, the one that you try to sell to, do they buy these seasonal items in the first place? If that answer is yes, okay, then that's probably a strong reason to try to sell to them. If that answer is no, then we might not even try in the first place. The next one to consider is, can you even handle the capacity? So for example, when I mentioned about me struggling to churn out all these Easter tokens, it took me 14 hours in a day to keep up with all the orders that we were getting. And I know that's a crazy amount. It's just how it happened. But in my opinion, that was not me handling capacity well. If I had my current machine that's much more advanced than that first one, I could probably keep up with it no problem. But can you handle an increased sale intake? Can you get those churned out in a reasonable amount of time? Because we have to keep in mind as well, with these seasonal items, they expect you to be delivered by that date, by Mother's Day, by Father's Day, by Easter, by Christmas. So there's a timeline factor that you have to consider when going to sell into these categories. With selling these type of items, you definitely need some kind of a marketing strategy. If you don't, you're just going to be posting and praying, and that is not a winning strategy. So you have to have some kind of well-defined marketing strategy. And finally, you have to ask yourself, do these products align with my brand, or am I just trying to jump on a trend to get quick sales? Once again, we have to think long-term. Does acquiring or just trying to sell these items help us acquire a long-term customer base, or are we just trying to get that next quick sale? We have to ask ourselves some tough questions if we want to try to sell some of these items. All right, so if you want to try to sell seasonal items, we have some strategies that you can implement right away to help you be successful. So first, you have to start small and test. Now, granted, this might be a little bit tricky because these holiday seasons come and go, but if you could try to implement a few products one year and then maybe go all in on it the next year based off the winners, that's a great spot. I would hate to see you try to make, 300 orders of Easter tokens and then you sell none and then you wasted 300, packs of material on this. So we need to start small. We need to test what products actually sell for us and then eventually go all in on them. The next strategy we need to implement is plan well ahead. And we also need to have some kind of marketing strategy. Those go hand in hand. So by planning ahead, I mean we need to make sure that we need to order the materials well in advance. Because I've seen this all the time, especially on Facebook groups, is who can send me a box of insert product and get it to my location in this amount of time, right? That's not a winning strategy. We need to have the materials on hand so we can get our orders out. Plus, we need to have our marketing strategy in place. What is that going to be? Where are we going to promote? How often are we going to promote? Who are we going to promote it to? Once again, if we're just rolling into a posting and praying method, that is not a winning strategy. We need to have some kind of concrete strategy that we can get our products in front of the right buyers. Now, if you're going to be selling these seasonal items, I suggest that you at least get them ready 8 weeks ahead of time before the date of the actual holiday. So think 8 weeks before Easter, 8 weeks before Mother's Day, 8 weeks before Father's Day. Now, while that may be early, there is a reason for that. It's because some people are crazy enough to buy 2 months out. But what you're doing is you're getting all those sales. Let's think about Etsy for a second. If you get more sales on Etsy, you're going to increase your SEO position. So if you get those early sales, you're going to increase your position, which will help you when the really busy time comes. So that's why I personally recommend an 8-week timeline when it comes to posting your items ahead of time. Another way that you could try to capitalize on some of these seasonal items is one, to offer like limited edition or even offer pre-orders. That's a great way to get an initial boost of sales right away because it offers a little bit of scarcity and a little bit of urgency. So if you could combine those two factors, that may help you capitalize on some of these sales. Now, ultimately, the decision to sell seasonal items is up to you. You have to look at the many factors that we've talked about today, the advantages, the disadvantages, the pros and the cons, and whether or not it actually fits your individual business. From my personal perspective, at the beginning of my laser career, I definitely chased the calendar season a little bit too hard. And what that left me with was months where I had gigantic sales and then some months where I had little to no sales, which was really hard to stomach. Now, granted, if you step back and you look at your year, you could see that yes, you were successful, but for me, that really ate at me. I mean, I had some months where I did 5 figures and then I had some months where I did a couple $100s. And that did not set well with me. So later on, I tried to have more items that were more consistent for year-round selling, which made my business a lot more sustainable, and it avoided the highs and the lows. Now, if you're looking to take your hobby to a business, I am currently doing a free laser session that you might be interested in. It's called the 3 Pillars of Laser Success: Take Your Hobby to a Business, and it's absolutely free and you could register right now. In it, I will talk about the 3 pillars of laser success. These are the pillars that I've used for myself along with the students inside of Laser Design Club, and this training is absolutely free. There's no obligation, but I'm only doing it for a limited time. So I'm doing about 4 sessions a day, and it's a lot of extra effort and a lot of energy that I'm outputting because there's so much information jam-packed into these live sessions. So secure your seat right now, and I'll see you soon. Now, I would really love to hear your opinion on whether you are selling seasonal items or not, whether they fit into your business, or what holidays you have found the most success in. So if you're still watching this video, drop a comment below and let me know where you found success or maybe not so much success. All right, guys, I hope you've really been enjoying this laser-focused business content. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel, especially if your goal is to make more money with your laser. Once again, my name was Brandon, the co-founder of Laser Design Club, and if you like this video, you're gonna love the next one.